everyone. My name is Billy Cross, and I'm the pastoral associate here at St. Joseph and St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church in Shelbyville. And I'm coming to you from my little house here, hunkered down, weathering this storm or bearing this cross as everyone else is right now. And our hearts and our prayers are going out to all of you and to all the families. I'm here in front of my little makeshift worship area here. I'm holding on to my sister's vanity for her for right now. And it's kind of ironic that my worship area is also a vanity. But all that aside, for these next 8 videos or so, we're going to kind of work through the Beatitudes and the Beatitudes of Christ. And a lot of times in our faith life, we can hear and we know the 10 Commandments. You know, we know them, we've practiced them through Sunday school. And, you know, when we get older, some of us can still recite them, you know. And that's really good for like knowing the truths of our faith. But how do we live out the love? And that's what the Beatitudes are. We should know the Beatitudes just as well as we should know the 10 Commandments. Because it's Jesus saying, just like he looked at the rich man, and he recites these 10 Commandments to him. He's like, are you doing these? And he's like, Lord, I've done these. And then all of a sudden he says, well, now sell your belongings, give your earnings to the poor, give everything to the poor, and follow me. And he's kind of just telling him in one sentence to live out the Beatitudes. It's like, yes, you kind of follow the rules and you know these truths of God, but, you know, do you do them out of love? You know, I could have everything. I could help so many people. I could speak in tongues, all this stuff. But if I don't have love, I have nothing, or I am nothing, or I gain nothing. And the Beatitudes are a perfect way not only for us to, you know, embrace the love of God and give the love of God to everyone around us, but also to receive the love, like as we're doing this, you know, and giving that we receive. You know, it is in doing these things throughout the Beatitudes that we receive this love of God. We receive these promises that he says. And the first one being, you know, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And that's a perfect. Jesus is so perfect in like laying the foundation for the rest of them. And saying that if you are poor in spirit, not just simply like, are you poor, like, economically or monetarily, like not just simply that, but he's saying, do you know who I am? And do you believe in who I am? And do you know that everything comes from me? That all the things that you have, all of the, you know, the things that we might have like even went out and gotten, all the produce that we've gotten, all of the blessings that we've gotten throughout our life, you know, they all come from God. And however many blessings, or however like the smallest of blessings, that everything comes from God. So in our like religious ed program right now, we sent out, and this week we're focusing on how can I be thankful? And that's truly what the poor in spirit is doing. And Jesus always is looking to the poor, always is giving the poor such a mantle to look to, because they recognize that, you know, it's not me doing these things for myself. Like, yes, I am successful, but God will not say at the end of our life, well done, good and successful servant. He looks at us and says, well done, my good and faithful, my good and loving servant. So it's not just about that I am doing these things to take care of myself and my family, but that God is blessing me with such fruit, such beauty, and such majesty that I can then go out and then love other people and love my family in this way. You know, so no matter how successful we are in our jobs, no matter how successful or amazing that maybe like our family and successful our family has become, you know, we should always remember and always give thanks to God. And this is just like the first commandment here. There is no God above the one true God. You should have no other gods before me. And that's simply what this is. That the poor, the lowly, like they understand and truly understand, and they're almost completely dependent upon God, where St. Francis understood that call. And St. Francis looked to God and he's like, I want to only be dependent upon you. And some of us, we might not be able to radically just do what St. Francis did, but we can. The beauty of our faith and the beauty of being a Christian is that although I might have all these things, although God has blessed me in all these ways, that these are not my gods. You know, and in this time of, you know, staying at home, a true Lent to remember right now. This is a true Lent to remember that we can look through our house and spend a day and pray for, think of one room in your house and pray for all the blessings that are in that room. Pray for all the blessings that are in your family for that one day, and then move to the next room and praying for all the blessings and thanking God for all the little things. So when God is looking, and Jesus looks to the rich man and says, sell everything. He's basically asking the rich man, none of that comes from you. None of that comes from you. It all comes from me. And the rich man, it was hard for him to understand this. It was hard for him to realize, these successful things, all these things that I have, they aren't just simply, I'm going out doing something. That it's God who has blessed me. It is God who has given me the ability, giving me the graces to be able to go out and get these things for myself and maybe even for my family. So this week, let's kind of reflect on what are all these things that we are thankful for. How can we be more poor in spirit, that we are more dependent upon God? And what maybe can we take away from our day-to-day life? And what can we give to our day-to-day life to then understand and live out a more thankful, blessing, poor in spirit life so that we too may inherit the kingdom of heaven? From all of us here at St. Joe's, God bless.